All right, guys, it is 6:30 in the morning. Nice and early. Okay, so let's see. For these problems, we're going to do 4 problems today over the course of the videos. We have to write the equation of the tangent line and the normal line, okay, which means I'm going to have to find the slope, okay? So let's see. It's happening when x equals -2. Okay, so let's see, if I start with my function for x cubed and I evaluate when x equals -2, I get 4 times -2 cubed, which gives me 4 times -8, which is -32. Okay, so this point that I'm working with is at -2, -32. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, so just a little reminder, I'm thinking to myself, what does this graph look like? Okay, well, it's a cubic, okay, and obviously if you take a look at the original function, it goes through the origin, okay, and so we're going to get something that looks like this, okay, and then you figure at x equals -2, this guy's way down here, okay, at -2, -32. So if you think in terms of, what's that guy going to look like? Certainly looks like the slope is going to be positive. Probably going to be a relatively large slope in absolute value. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we go the limit, okay, as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, so we get the limit as h approaches 0. Okay, let's see, this is going to be f of, well, x is -2, so that's -2 plus h, okay, minus f of -2 all over h. Okay, so let's see. Limit as h approaches 0. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 times, going back to the original function, -2 plus h cubed minus f of -2 we know is -32, like this, all over h. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to have to deal with this guy right here. Okay, so I'm going to go off to the side and just deal with that. Okay, so let's see, we're going to have -2 plus h times -2 plus h squared. Okay, so I have a 4, I have a -2 plus h, and then I square that. So let's see, I'm going to get a 4 minus 4h plus h squared. Yep. Okay, so let's see, I'm gonna distribute the 4 last. Okay, so let me distribute the -2. So let's see, I'm gonna get a -8 plus 8h minus 2h squared, and then distribute the h, so I get a 4h minus 4h squared plus h cubed. Now I'm going to simplify. Okay, so let's see, I have an h cubed, I have a -2h squared and a -4h squared, so a -6h squared. Okay, I'm going to have an 8h and a 4h, so that's plus 12h, and then I have a -8. And then we distribute the 4, so I'm going to get 4h cubed minus 24h squared plus 48h minus 32. Okay, so let's see, this guy right here goes in right here. Okay, so I get the limit as h approaches 0. Okay, I have 4h cubed minus 24h squared okay, plus 48h minus 32. Okay, and then notice I have a minus a negative 32, so that's plus 32 all over h. Okay, so notice these guys cancel off right here. And I'm just left with the limit as h approaches 0, okay, of all this. So notice I can divide out an h. Okay, so this will give me 4h squared. This will give me a negative 24h. And this guy will give me a plus 48. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, this goes to 0 and that goes to 0. So it looks like I'm going to get just 48. And of course I know all the tricks. So that should be, yes, that should be correct. Okay, so we go here and we have to do a tangent line and a normal line. Okay, tangent. Okay, and so we say, okay, well, this is our slope. Okay, so we get a slope of 48, and it's going through this point right here, -2 and -32. Okay, and then I have to do a normal line. And remember, the normal line is perpendicular to the tangent line. Okay, so remember, these two guys, okay, have to be perpendicular to each other. And remember, when lines are perpendicular, they have slopes that are opposite reciprocals of one another. Okay, so if this slope is 48, the opposite reciprocal would be -1 over 48. But it's still going through the same point. Okay, so going through -2, -32. Okay, so I have to write these two equations. Okay, so go back to your point slope form. Okay, and we go y minus -32 equals the slope 48 times x minus -2. Okay, so I get y plus 32 equals 48x. This would be plus 48 times 2 is 96. And then I'm just going to put it in slope-intercept form because it's easier to do. So subtract 32 from both sides. Y equals 48x. That would be plus 64. Okay, and we're good. There's the equation of our tangent line. Okay, so now we got to do the equation of the normal line. So let's do the same process. So y minus -32 equals -1 over 48 times x minus a -2. Okay, so I have y plus 32 equals -1 over 48x. All right, so let's see, this would be plus, and then I multiply by a negative, so it's going to be minus, and that would be 1/24. Okay, so subtract 32 from both sides, so y equals -1 over 48x minus 32 and 1/24. Okay, and if you want to write that as an improper fraction, that's up to you. Okay, you know, the same thing as, I mean, if I take that guy and just, it's too early in the morning for me to actually do mental math. 32 and 1/24. Okay, so second, that is 769 over 24. So if you wanted to do that, by all means, go ahead. That's up to you. It doesn't make any difference one way or the other, as you guys already know. Okay, that'll wrap up the first video. More to come.